Mr. President, my delegation aligns itself with the statements delivered by Uganda, Iraq, and Singapore on behalf of NAM, the G77, and China and ASEAN, respectively, and echoes the principal call to end the embargo against Cuba. We would like to warmly welcome the presence of His Excellency Foreign Minister Bruno Rodriguez Perilla of Cuba at this session, and also would like to thank the Secretary General for his report on this important agenda item. The Laos PDR reiterates its unwavering solidarity with the people and government of Cuba. The embargo, which has remained in place for more than 6 decades, is in direct contradiction to the purposes and principles of the United Nations Charter and well-established norms of international law. This prolonged and unilateral measure has not only inflicted severe socioeconomic consequences on the Cuban people, but also hindered their legitimate right to development, sovereignty, and national self-determination. At a time when the world is facing unprecedented challenges, from widening inequalities and intensified geopolitical tensions to global health crisis and climate-related disasters, it is morally indefensible and politically unjustifiable to maintain coercive measures that exacerbate human suffering and restrict inclusive development. The Laos PDR strongly believes that no country should be denied the opportunity to chart its own development path free from external pressure and interference. In this regard, we support the adoption of the successor resolution under this agenda item, namely Resolution A/80/L.6, and recognize it as a resounding expression of the view of the international community, a consistent call for justice, fairness, and respect for international law. It is through such multilateral actions that we pave the way towards a more peaceful, equitable, and just world for all nations, large and small. Mr. President, the Laos PDR is of the view that unilateral coercive measures not only contradict the UN Charter and international law, but also hinder sustainable development and impose unjust suffering on innocent people. We must therefore redouble our efforts to foster an enabling environment for peace and development cooperation among all nations. In this regard, the Laos PDR once again joins the international community in calling for the ending of the economic, commercial, and financial embargo against the Republic of Cuba, as well as for the removal of Cuba from the list of state sponsors of terrorism and the elimination of all unilateral coercive measures imposed on sovereign countries. In conclusion, the Laos PDR calls on all member states to renew our collective resolve to uphold the Charter of the United Nations, safeguard the sovereign rights of nations, and foster inclusive and sustainable development, especially for countries unjustly affected by coercive measures, and to ensure that the people of Cuba, like all peoples around the world, are given the freedom to thrive and determine their own destiny. I thank you, Mr. President.